What is our fourth main topic today?
Darren K says, "Hey guys, so I got up early this morning to watch the new episode of She-Hulk and it was okay. And that's how I'm feeling about this whole show. It's okay. I mean, I don't mind tuning in to watch it, but it's not like Rings of Power or House of the Dragon where I'm counting down the days till a new episode comes out. This episode was just that. Okay, but didn't make me excited for the next one. Did you guys see the episode and what did you think about it?"
All right, Darren, thanks a lot for saying that in. And yeah, look, She-Hulk is a really interesting Marvel, case study, if you will. I thought the first episode of She-Hulk was great with the stuff with Bruce and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was great. Once we got into episode 2, the show started to become what it was, which was an Alan McBeal style Marvel sitcom. And that's what it meant to be. And I appreciate it for that. I appreciate what they've been going for. And I've enjoyed moments along the way. There have been episodes I've enjoyed more than others, and we're now 6 episodes in. But a couple of weeks ago, you guys will remember I started talking about, here's my problem with the show. And I talked about a lot ad nauseum last week, but I'll bring it up again here. My problem with the show is that while I love the concept and I recognize what they're going for and all that entails, my problem has been, this is a comedy and it's not funny. That's been my issue. Now, there have been moments of big laughs for me. Like, F everybody else. I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks about it. That twerking scene with Megan Thee Stallion was brilliant. And I laughed my guts out at it. I thought that was hilarious. The Madison stuff, I ended up falling in love with it, even though I was kind of annoyed by it at first. By the time they got to the end and they're freaking watching This Is Us and eating chips or whatever, I thought that was hilarious. There have been a couple of moments, but I can count on one hand the number of moments through 6 episodes that I have guffawed, laughed out loud. 5 times in 6 episodes. It should be 5 times per episode. And this recent episode of She-Hulk, the one that, with her going to the wedding, and we're not going to go into big details, but I mean, no Daredevil, despite the fact that, and that's fine. Daredevil could have been in it. Wouldn't have changed a thing. The show's not funny. I just went through the entire episode, and the basic gist of it is, Jennifer gets invited to be a bridesmaid in a wedding of a friend of hers from high school. And, of course, the dichotomy that she's struggling with, am I She-Hulk, am I Jen? That kind of comes into play and whatever. And Titania shows up. And what happens there? And that's all fine. And it's all good. And if I had read that as a 2-paragraph outline of the episode, I would have thought, oh, this is going to be an interesting episode. But it's not funny. And I've said this before. I say it about horror films. In horror films, you can do everything wrong. Everything wrong. You can have bad dialogue, bad characters, bad everything. But if you give the audience the creeps and some good scares, they'll walk out happy. Or you can do everything else right in a horror movie. And if you don't give the audience that, they're going to walk out unhappy. Comedy is the same way to me. You can do everything wrong. It doesn't matter. If you make the audience laugh, nothing else matters in a comedy. Nothing. And if you do everything else right, but you fail to make the audience laugh, it don't matter what else you did right. And I sat there and I realized as the credits started to roll, I realized my lips never moved once. I didn't grin. I didn't smile. I certainly didn't laugh out loud. And so what are we left with? We are left with, I believe, a great idea for a show that is unfortunately a comedy that isn't funny. And if it's not going to make me laugh, why would I watch? And it's official. I'm tapped out. I'm done. I can't watch this show anymore. It's not that it's doing anything explicitly bad. It's not. They're not doing anything explicitly bad with it. It's just that you're not making me laugh. I am tuning into your comedy to laugh, and you're not making me laugh. And it's unfortunate that I had to pop on Disney Plus Thor: Love and Thunder to actually get some laughs. And that's not even supposed to be a huge comedy. So anyway, that's kind of my take on it. Again, nothing super bad about it. It's an interesting concept for an episode. Again, it just failed to make me laugh. And I'm done giving my time to a comedy that's not going to make me laugh. Anyway, Amy, you saw She-Hulk yesterday. What did you think about it?
I'm scared to say I kind of liked it. I'm not going to argue that it's a brilliant comedy. I'm not going to argue it's by any means, the best Marvel show on Disney Plus or even near the top, but I'm enjoying it. And I actually enjoyed this week more than I have some of the past weeks. It felt a little more congealed as a full show. I liked the wedding thing, and maybe that's just my own personal bias right now because I am currently in my own little wedding mode and spent way too much of my day yesterday on wedding TikTok. So I think some of that stuff just felt very fun, and even just like that awful peachy pink bridesmaids color they put on everyone that doesn't look good. Like those little details made me smile. Was I guffawing? No, but I was entertained. It felt like a charming mid-level sitcom to me. I also really just love, I do think their casting continues to be really solid. I love Patty Harrison. I just think she's hysterical in anything who played the bride. So generally for me, I enjoyed it. I completely understand. Yeah, you're probably not counting the days to this like you are for something like, Game of Thrones or Rings of Power. It's not that type of show. And I will die on the hill of, I think that's great. I think whether or not you like it, it's nice that we're getting some mid-level comedies. Do I wish the writing was a little sharper and there were more genuine laugh out loud moments? Sure, that'd be great. But ultimately, I find it charming. I find it entertaining. Tatiana Maslany continues to be great. This guy they're kind of bringing in is maybe a love interest, I think is really charming. So ultimately, there's enough there that I'm enjoying and finding entertaining that I'll stick it out for a couple more episodes.
And I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that feel the same way you do. Rob, you had a chance to see the episode. What do you think of it?
This was an episode I really actively disliked of all the episodes. And I'll tell you why, honestly. So the premise of this show, when she becomes Hulk, and the first episode, David Banner's like, you got to be, Bruce Banner's like, you have to be a superhero. You have the power now. And she's like, I don't have to be a superhero. Well, in this, and then she goes to a law firm and is going to deal with superhero issues. This story of the immortal man and the fact that
let's not go into story details.
This to me, the perfect story with which to put Jennifer Walters and her legal prowess front and center, because she's dealing with women's issues, herself, how women are dealt with in the workplace, how women are wronged by men, and if you're using superpowers and all that. I'm like, this would have been a perfect case for her to try. And what do? They completely remove her from that case. And they send her away to this wedding. And then what does this have to do? And at the wedding, she's abused. And it's like, first of all, I don't believe anybody would. I didn't believe it. It had this episode had no verisimilitude. I didn't believe any of what I was watching. And also, John, like you said, it never made me laugh either. And the premise of what was going on in the law firm was ripe for exploration, for humor, for social commentary, for Jen Walters to confront various things in her own life. I thought it could have been great. And she wasn't even part of that. Like, why would you remove, this is a 9-episode show, and you took your main character out of the main premise of what the show is actually about, when it could have been a great episode of that show and the B story was much more interesting than the A story to me.
Well, guys, that difference of opinion. I mean, I've also read online some people really quite enjoyed the episode. Maybe you're one of those. Some people like myself didn't, whatever. Maybe you're one of those.
Oh, I will say I also really kind of liked, I thought it was going to feel too on the nose, but bringing in like the toxic male website that's like hating She-Hulk. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting. Actually, they've been doing a lot of nods to the reality that we live in, sort of things. And that part was interesting. But again, it wasn't a part that made me laugh, unfortunately. Questions for you. How are you feeling? Maybe you're loving She-Hulk and you just can't wait for every episode. Maybe you're somebody you're like, yeah, you're on the fence about it. Maybe you're like me where you're officially tapping out and giving up on it. I don't know. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, MasterClass. You guys know we have been sponsored by MasterClass, and we love them here at the John Campea Show for giving us in-depth information on a wide variety of topics from the world's best experts. With MasterClass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. You can learn the art of filmmaking from James Cameron, improve your cooking skills from Gordon Ramsay, or learn how to make compelling YouTube videos from Marquise Brownlee. With over 150 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. I was recently watching through the independent filmmaking course by Spike Lee, and I found it fascinating that not only did he cover the broader topics like working with actors, but he also gets into finer details like working with a cinematographer and how to properly audition a DP for your project. It was fascinating. So guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every class, and as a John Campea Show listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/Campea now. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass.